Hello, and welcome to Does It Resonate With You, the thought-provoking conversation show where your hosts, Angie of the ZXUH Method and John the Tarot Geek, figure out what resonates with them while encouraging you to find what resonates with you. Let's get started.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Does It Resonate With You? We've been talking a little bit about it, kind of doing a new format for the show where we really want to encourage you to tell us whether or not something we're talking about resonates with you. So we're going to talk about a few different, we're going to have a few different not different topics, but subtopics, I guess would be the right
questions.
word. Yeah. And today we're going to talk about the Akashic Record, one of my absolute favorite things to talk about and one of the most powerful tools that I have found of change and transformation. And you may recall, I think maybe a month ago or probably a little longer than that, that I did a combination with Lisa. If you remember Lisa, the astrologer,
yes.
that came on, and we did a combo where we looked at the Akashic Record and we looked at astrology, and we were really amazed at how the two really blended together so well.
Wow.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to put things up on the screen here. So when you see it and you hear us talk, let us know in the comments what you think and if it resonates with you. And if you have a different idea, we want to hear about that too, because I think over time we're going to gather those things up and maybe we'll have you on and have a conversation. Or
Yep.
Oh, wait a minute though. But it's not mandatory, because we don't want you to not answer because you don't want to come on the show. And while we're at it, if this is the beginning of the show and you haven't subscribed yet, please reach down or up or whatever it is and click subscribe. And
that really helps us out a lot.
It really does. And I want to say, I think I saw we had 43.
Good.
And what we're really striving for, as the first hurdle is 44.
Indeed.
So, yep, we're at 43. So
Nice.
we really want to get to 44. So if we can get that out of this episode, that would be amazing.
Right.
And then on to 100.
We're talking to you.
Yeah, right? Reach down there and hit subscribe. Anyway, so that's what we're playing with new formats. We're still having growing pains. We're just starting out, so we're still finding our footing and everything. We're talking about some new stuff about next week. We're going to be playing with the energy, so that'll be very fun. Anyway, so that's what we're at, and we're going to start out, and we're going to put these across the bottom of the screen, so you can drop a comment in the comments and let us know what you think. And I am excited to move on and work on it, in this way. So the Akashic Record, John, I'm
Here
excited.
we are. Let's do it.
I am excited. I'm so excited, and it's great to see you again this week. So I'm going to just put this first one up here. Past lives are a part of our soul's journey, and they are written in the record, meaning the Akashic Record.
Yep.
So I guess one of the first things is, does it resonate with you, past lives?
Right.
Do you believe in past lives?
I sure do. Did you know there's a database out there of everyone who has had a past life, a near-death experience, and has been able to see, their part of their past lives. There's a researcher that keeps track of that stuff. And anyway, it's amazing to read through these.
Oh, wow. That's really interesting. It's interesting. I mean, there's so many places, so many directions to go with that. And certainly I would never give out anybody's name, but, one of the things I do is intuition coaching. So I do actually work with people who, have different levels of abilities and gifts. And so I recall speaking to a client, in the past, and he was having an issue with the relationship. And I just said, you guys have traveled this road before. And I would encourage you to meditate on it and see if you can get some information. And he did. He was able to go back and kind of see what it was and see what it looked like and understand the energy of the situation. And it really helped him realize that what was happening in that relationship was showing him that relationship wasn't really right for him at the time. So it's kind of fascinating when you think about. I mean, because if you think about like just in the narrow, from beginning to end of this life, right? This incarnation,
Mm-hmm.
everything you did from the time you were born until, well, maybe not born, but till the time you were conscious or had your own free will,
Right.
has an impact on who you are at any moment, further down the timeline, right? So
Yep.
I think it would stand to reason that that would follow suit in this in the story or the journey of your soul.
Sure.
Everything in the journey of your soul has an
Right.
impact on the current, and who knows what our consciousness is when we're on the other side. So the only thing we know right now is how we as humans within this human construct, this confines of the human brain and the third dimension, because I don't care what anyone says, ascension, fifth dimension, that's death.
Right. Right.
Right? It's not what you should be aspiring to do. Just like in the tax game. Oh well, I can write it off. I can write it off. I can write it off. You should not be aspiring to have a business loss. That means you didn't make any money. So I mean, to me, you should not be aspiring to spend your time while you should be here. Although it is fun in the fifth dimension. I mean, I go there regularly.
That goes along with one of the main tenets of mindfulness, which is be in the present.
Mm-hmm.
Don't live for some other time period, some other dimension, some other era of your life. Be here, be here now, right?
Yep. Although I say I draw the line with that whole mindfulness doing the dishes thing. Like, I don't care about the bubble. I really don't care. Like,
all right.
let me put them things
that
in
doesn't
the
resonate
dishwasher. With you. No. Let me put them things in the dishwasher and push the button. That resonates with me. Right?
All right.
But oh no, I never put those two things together though. Like the idea of mindfulness, be here.
Right.
Right? I mean,
you're here for a reason.
Right. And it is so much what you make it. Right?
Absolutely.
So many people are, oh my God, it's so miserable here. I can't stand it here. I don't feel at home. Well, do something.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Make another choice. Take another action.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is no proof. And I do understand that there's all kind of vibrational reasons. I believe in vibrational mismatches between a physical body and a soul that create dissonance, which we actually have. We have that a little further down in our list, so I won't go into that now. But anyway, so past lives are a part of our soul's journey and they're written in the record. So if past lives are a part of the soul's journey, and the record is the story of the soul, does that resonate? Like,
very much so.
Right? I mean, how could it not?
Yeah.
I've seen too many things that make too much sense, right? In the work that I do with it. So, as it relates to the story of your soul, what do you think, or what would be something that you would like to know?
Well, on this topic right here, when I realized that we do have multiple incarnations, it sure made the fear of death go away.
I know, right? Right?
It was really, really astounding. Again, it's back to books that I read. When I was reading Brian Weiss's books, I was like, really? If this is true, then I don't have to be afraid of death.
No, right, exactly.
Yeah, it was
because you're going to just get to come back and do it again.
Right.
Some Akashic, some systems that teach the Akashic Record give us the idea that we don't always necessarily incarnate on Earth either.
I have heard that. That's getting a little far out of my comfort zone. Well, my understanding.
Doesn't.
Right. It's further out of my understanding. But I'm not
and I mean, I think that probably doing the work to learn it, like this particular system, probably shifted my thinking on that a little bit. And who knows, I mean, whoever you learn this from, right? Because I was attuned to be able to read the Akashic Record. It was an attunement process, just like I'm attuned to do energy work.
Right.
Reiki, you get a Reiki attunement,
yep,
you get an Amakuki attunement, right? It's an attunement. And what that is connecting you to sort of an energy matrix that gives you access to whatever it is that you want to do.
Mhm.
Work with the symbols, work with the energy. Reading the Akashic Record is working with the energy. I mean,
Okay.
that's
So
what it
that's
is,
just a
right?
real
It's
specific attunement then.
right.
Sweet.
And
I was wondering how that works, and it's just a matter of getting that from your guide or the person teaching you, basically.
right, yeah, from the teacher. And it's intention, right?
Yeah.
Like if there's 3 words to any of this, intention, intention. But um, what's gone? It's just
You want to hop to the next question?
Yeah, let's just do that because whatever it was, it's gone.
And it may come
Okay.
back.
Yeah, who knows? Whoever it was that was speaking said, "Forget it. It's enough." Right?
You can tell me to be quiet if they need to talk.
No. I mean, like we're all over this, right? Like this is what it is. You came here to listen to us talk. We appreciate it. We
Absolutely.
want to know what resonates with you, and
So maybe that's our question. Does past lives resonate with you?
yeah, right. Right. I just don't see how it could not. But it was interesting that you said about the fear of death. I think it was Kyle Cease, who's a like stand-up comedian turned amazing motivational speaker.
Oh, cool. I
So
haven't
you
heard.
should check him out sometime too. I
Kyle
know how
Cease?
you love to read.
Yeah.
Cease, like stop it.
Okay.
CEASE. He's amazing.
Okay.
I've seen him actually live, which any called me out on something, but whatever. It was interesting because we all have those fears, those things that keep us from connecting, and he's really all about if you're here, if you listen, if you love, if you can have whatever you want, you can create whatever you want if you can manage to do all these things. But the way he put it about the fear of death, like everything revolves around the fear of death. Like, I can't quit my job because I won't have any money. And if I don't have any money, I won't be able to eat. I won't have a roof over my head. And then I will get sick and I will die. Like,
Yep.
And put it as eloquently as a stand-up comedian might, I would suppose.
Yes. I think I've heard that routine.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting that, I mean, because it is a really human thing, right? To fear what you can't see.
Right.
And no matter how many near-death experiences have been, and what is that woman's name? It starts with an
Anita
A.
Morjani.
Yeah, her. Like
She's good.
she based all of her work on the fact that she had a near-death experience, and she's
good,
amazing.
She's really, really good.
But you know why? Because she carries no fear.
Right. Yeah. See,
she
that's
carries zero
no fear of death, no fear of anything. I love that. That's so empowering. Empowering.
She's just, and I actually had the occasion it was in a Radley Valentine thing to hear her actually speak. It was so
envious.
good.
I'm envious because she is my hero. She's one of my heroes. Again, I met her through a book. But
yeah, I can imagine.
But she's got like a whole community that she has around her, and
she's amazing. I want to say, I don't know, it was a couple 2-3 months ago. And then naturally craziness ensued in my life, but it's almost over. So we'll get there. But
indeed,
yeah. So I really appreciate the because I used to be deadly afraid of death, like deathly afraid. I was so afraid because I didn't understand my relationship with religion, and I didn't believe in hell. I didn't believe in heaven. But a lot of people that I loved and cared about did, and so I was
they made sure you knew.
Well, I mean, it wasn't as guilt-ridden as a Catholic upbringing.
Okay, and mine was more of that direction.
Yeah. However, I didn't feel any of it. Like I was baptized, I think 4 times. I've been to the altar.
Right.
I don't know, 5 or 6 times.
Okay.
Like the altar call, right?
Yeah.
Whatever they call it. Come up and accept Jesus into your heart. And I would do it, and every time I did it, I thought, I still don't feel anything. I feel nothing. Like it feels like nothing to me. So I was for a long time, I was afraid that if there really was a hell, which I didn't believe, I was going to go there because I didn't believe and because I couldn't feel this. And so doing this work has really shed that fear for me in a way that I don't think anything else could have. So,
yeah.
I mean, I if that's one gift that the idea of past lives can give anyone,
It
to
sheds
lose
the fear.
at least some of the fear of death,
Yeah.
I think that's a huge gift.
Yep,
Right?
I agree. I totally agree with that. That resonates with me greatly.
Me too. So how about you? Does it resonate with you? Drop a comment and let us know. All right. Now here is the center of all Akashic Record work. Why do you get an Akashic Record reading? Because past actions and choices can leave imprints, and those imprints can create patterns of action and choice that are, some schools call it negative action and choice. I prefer to just call it out of alignment, because negative to me has that sort of kind of fear-based connotation to it.
Yep. I got to interject something really
Sure,
really
go
interesting.
ahead.
So quite often people think of karma as like the universe getting back at you for something
right.
you did, right? No, it's just the imprint, right?
That's it.
That's karma.
Right.
And when I realized, karma isn't, you did something bad in this lifetime, you're going to suffer the next one. No, it's an imprint, right? So it's an effect from a previous.
Exactly right. And karma is all over the teachings in the Akashic Record, right? So like, even to an extent that there's an entire group of people that took on unjustified karma for another group. I mean, like, we could have really, really deep conversations about the Akashic Record.
And
like,
we will.
and we definitely will, like the idea that for any negative pattern of choice or action that's present in your current life, whether it's you are repeating the same relationship over and over again, or you have the same fear of heights maybe over and over again, or you have an overwhelming fear that your children are going to get lost over and over again. These can have roots in the Akashic Record. But what they also always have is what we call an attachment mechanism.
Okay.
And the attachment mechanism very often is guilt. So in other words, like the idea, they call it a curse that can carry with you from lifetime to lifetime, curses, pacts, agreements. But let's just go with the idea of a curse.
Okay.
I believe that you can be cursed, but I believe that the only way you can be cursed is to accept the energy of the curse. So you accept the energy for some reason. That means that there's an attachment mechanism. So let's say in a past life, I agreed to heal your child.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
It's probably not within my capability to actually do that, but like, especially if we're talking in a past life, right?
Sure.
1200, whatever. So I really believe I can, but then it turns out that I can't, and your child dies anyway.
Okay.
And then you are so upset with me because I agreed to do it. I gave you hope. You look at me and you say, may your children, or may you never have children of your own. I don't,
Right. No, I'm seeing, that's a nice scenario. I'm seeing it.
And for me, for that actually to take hold, I would have to agree to it.
Right. You would have to,
and I would
accept that curse on yourself.
And why would I do that? Because I feel guilty that I wasn't able to help your
I
child.
see what you're saying. Right.
So now you've got that hook. You've got the attachment mechanism of the guilt. So very often, if you work with an Akashic Record reader and they don't get to the attachment mechanism, you can clear the energy of that curse maybe, but the attachment mechanism is what really stays with you in this current lifetime, right? And it's really interesting because, like, I did a reading for somebody quite some time ago, but she had a contract in her record, contract of protection. And a reason a contract would stay in your record and show up now is that you didn't actually fully execute.
Fulfill it,
exactly. So she had a contracted protection, and she was meant to protect these children, and it didn't go well. Like sometimes I can actually get the information of like what it looked like, but that's not relevant here. So she had this contracted protection. She was meant to protect these children. It did not go well. It didn't work. So when I'm telling her this story, she looks at me and she said, "Oh my gosh, do you know that when my husband takes my children to the store to get ice cream, I sit and look out the window and just stare until he brings them back, paralyzed, because I'm so afraid something will happen to them."
Wow.
And I was like, well, that's the energy of this contract that was still present, right? And so as soon as she had an awareness of this and we did the clearing work, she was able to begin to let that go. Now, you clear it in the Akashic Record, great, but your human ego still has all this stuff in here.
Sure.
So you have to do some work to get yourself up and out of it. But once you have energy flows where awareness goes, right?
Yep.
So once you have an awareness of what the pattern is, then you have the ability to, take some choices and actions that will help you.
You know what? That is right. That is right in line with what Brian Weiss has in his book, Many Lives, Many Masters. He would do past life, regression, which I know you're not a huge fan of, but
no, that's not it. But go ahead.
Well, let me finish. Once they had the awareness of their fear of, fill in the blank, water, then when back, because he's a psychologist, when they did their therapy, the rest of the therapy worked very well because that they had that awareness first, and then they had to do the work to kind of clear the mental part.
Right, exactly. So
you're spot on with how he explains it.
Yeah, and honestly, because people are like, I have no idea. I mean, I actually know why I was afraid of water, because I almost drowned when I was 9. I jumped into a pool. Nobody told me it was 5 foot in the middle. Like you think they would tell you that, and then I mean, I was like 9, so I was probably 4'5" or something. And I almost drowned. So it took me a long time. I mean, I got my own self over that, but whatever. But so a lot of people are like afraid of something like that, and they have no idea why. And then when you go into the Akashic Record, you go, "Ooh, well, this is
right. There it is."
Right?
Yeah.
So let me just explain really quickly, and then because I think we're going to go to the next thing.
Yep.
Why I feel about past life regression the way that I do. I believe that past life regression is a great tool, and I believe in it. I believe it works. I believe you can do it, but I also believe that a person has to be ready for it, because you can see things in a past life regression that you may not be ready to see.
I would totally agree with that. Yes.
Like the story I was telling you earlier.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm going to share that whole story on the show, but you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And I really, because
if your past life had some dark secrets in it, that's hard to see, and you might not be ready to see that.
Right. And you need to have the capability. This is, to me, the key. I had the capability, and this was visited to me in a sound meditation. Like, I made a connection in the sound meditation, and I was like, okay, well, if you're going to show me this, great, but I need to know that it's going to be over with, because this is really big and this is really heavy, and I don't want to carry it. Like, it belongs to that past life for whatever reason. It doesn't belong to this life. I don't want to carry that. And then I was able to see the whole story and get through to the end, and then understand what the impact was in this life, and then do work around that and move on.
Right.
So that's fine. But I mean, I have seen people come out and this would have traumatized, and you know what it is. It would have traumatized somebody, right? Like, so that's why I say you just have to be careful. I mean, for me, it would be totally fun, right? Like, for a lot of people, it's fun. I would love, I'd like to do a past life regression with Brian Weiss. Are you kidding? Or what is that other lady? Is it Sally something? Is there another one? Sally?
Yeah, I don't remember her name, but yes.
But yeah, so I mean, yeah, so totally like that. But people too soon, and if your filter is clogged with fear, it's probably not a good idea for you to do that, right? Because past life regression that's energy coming through your filter.
Yep.
And if your
Be
filter
traumatic.
is clogged with fear, not going to work out for you.
Yep.
All right. Now, here's the next one. Okay, wait. So what do you think about that, folks? Does it resonate with you that you carry imprints from one lifetime to the next and that it can have an impact or an influence on the way that you live your life? Drop a comment and let us know. Okay, here's the next one. There are two paths, the Akashic path and the genetic path. And you kind of really explained that really well when we brought up this concept. So why don't you go ahead and tell people
Sure. What was really amazing and surprising to me is you have your physical family that your parents, your grandparents, your whole lineage, and you carry with that, your genetic records. But then you also have your soul family, and this is your Akashic path. And when I realized that, when you meet someone, you're like, I know you from somehow, and I don't know how, and you connect with someone really, really deeply. That's quite often someone part of your soul family. You've connected in the past, and you're connecting again in this life. And that's so a couple things on that. Number one, a lot of people have good families, but if you don't happen to have a good genetic family, you might seek out your soul family, and you might be able to really connect with those people that are your people.
Like find your tribe, right? Find your tribe.
100%.
Yeah, that's kind of really what I'm doing, because I mean I got my kids, but I don't have a whole.
Me too.
I'm not really surrounded by family. I mean, I have a little bit of family, but my family kind of disappeared after my mother passed when I was 16 years old. So, P.S. But wow, that's really like find your soul family.
Yeah.
That's really. I mean, that's it, right? Like,
I wonder if you could use an Akashic reading to help you find some of your soul family.
Maybe.
Be kind of cool.
Maybe. I mean, I do, this is one of those times when you don't really want to say, I don't want to sit here and sound like, oh, I'm really special because I do a lot of really deep work. But I do.
But you are special, Angie. We all know that.
Thank you. So the way I'm going to answer that is that things that I've done and things that I've seen and work that I've done with people, I would 100% think that you could absolutely do that.
Cool.
In the right situation, having the right understanding. See, because the thing about it is that you have to have, like, whether it's Akashic record reading or manifesting or whatever, you have to have something on the other side to connect to, right? You have to have the energy of something on the other side to connect to. So, to make that, you need to bridge that connection. I'm sure it could be figured out.
Okay.
Like, I'm sure it could. Now, the truth is, I think that one of the things that I think that people in your genetic family can also be part of your soul family.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
I do believe that. And I believe that sometimes people in your genetic family can really have nothing to do with who you are at any kind of level, let alone be it your soul level.
Right. They're kind of like they're fillers.
Kind of. And the problem is, and depending on where you come from, and I noticed this, because we brought it up just for a second, the Catholic thing, because I am a cut 'em loose. That's me. I mean, I'm known as Angie Cut 'em Loose, right? Like,
right. If you don't resonate with someone, family or not, you're like, sorry, we're not doing this.
Cut 'em loose. But
that's
I have
really
a friend,
powerful, by the way, for people that are really suffering in their families. I think, well, I can't do that. It's my brother, right? It's my right.
Yeah.
And you're like, yes, you can.
Yes, you can. But what I noticed is, and I have a friend who was just so abused by her elderly mother. Like, I would have never.
So sad.
I would have never. Like, I mean, she literally said to her, "What did you do? You were here. What did you do? You used my water and ate my food. Really? I just took care of you for 6 weeks and blah blah whatever." So I couldn't understand that. I'm like, cut her loose. Like, like,
yep.
Then it turned out Lisa, the astrologer, told me that cut 'em loose thing is kind of in my chart. So
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, but the
Yeah.
truth
I can see
is,
that.
you don't. I mean, with my father, just quickly, with my father, it was I could only hear I was a piece of garbage for so long before I either A, believed it, or
Mhm.
B, got the heck
Got the
out.
heck out of there.
So I
Yep.
got out, right? Like,
Good on you. Yep.
with encouragement from his mother, by the way, but whatever. So does that diminish the love? No. Does it diminish my capacity for compassion for the man because I understood what he went through in World War II? It doesn't. But it took me a long time to get there. So some of the Akashic work that I've done, you know, and information I've gotten shows me the patterns that brought me into this family in the first place. You know, so it's like, oh, all right. So when you really start delving in and getting into these issues, it's really fascinating. Do you know that you can find Akashic issues that explain trouble with your shoulder or your knee or your hip?
Oh, we need to do that because my shoulder's been
Oh
killing me
no,
all
yeah,
week.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you something. Every single person on any kind of a spiritual journey that I have met in the last 5 years has some kind of issue with their shoulder. I swear. I was starting to do a study on it because I was like, I don't understand this.
No kidding.
I am not kidding. I am not kidding. Like, it's
That
crazy.
is crazy.
Yeah, like, you know, you have your group, right?
Right.
Just put it up as a question. How many people in here have trouble with your shoulder? And if you do, which one? Just see how they answer.
All right.
Just see how they answer. Just be very curious. Because
Right.
I bet you it's going to be a lot of them.
It's the left. Is that?
Yeah, of course it's the left. It's my left.
Stop
It's
it.
my left. I'm not kidding.
What
I mean, I am not kidding. My left was so bad. And my niece is a massage therapist. Like, she was my energy teacher, but she's a massage therapist. I was like, I can't take this anymore. Like, this shoulder is like, so I don't know what the deal was, but I'm going to tell you what. I was on the table. It's nothing like getting energy work from a massage therapist. I'm just going to put that out there. It's
would
amazing.
Agree. Yep.
But she held my left arm out like straight, like, you know, this. She put her thumb underneath, like near my shoulder blade. She's like, which one hurts more? This or that? And I'm like, that. She goes, okay. And then I don't know what the heck she did, but it hurt so bad. And then it like peeled my shoulder like a chicken wing. And then it was good for a long time.
Yep. Well, I see a chiropractor once a month. And anyway, he usually after I see him, everything's fine. But I got another week or two before I'm going over there. So
oh yeah. So I don't know. I'll tell you.
That is the craziest thing I've ever heard, Angie.
I know, but I'm telling you, I was so like intrigued by it. I don't know if I put it in my group. I asked the question someplace, and everybody's like, me.
Okay.
In fact,
wow.
That same meditation that I was in, some of you that are watching may remember my other talk show way back, Empowered Living, right? Like the Empowered Show with Michael. And in that same sound meditation, I was in the meditation. Michael and his friend then girlfriend was in the meditation. And when I was coming around from the meditation, they just kept saying, Michael's shoulder. And I'm like, because I'm really like, I don't like to get information about people.
Right.
I don't go poking around people's energy without permission. But we were starting to become friendly. So I was like, okay, well, whatever. So I walked up to him and I said, I just looked at him and I go, you know, may I? And he goes, okay. And I put my hand right underneath his left shoulder blade. And he looked at me like, what the hell? How did you know that?
Yeah.
I said, they've been saying it over and over and over again while I was laying there trying to enjoy the damn meditation. Okay.
That's cool.
So for whatever reason, I have that's the extent of my medical whatever. Like,
Angie, the medical.
Well, I read the book and it said you'll be able to see inside somebody's lungs. And I was like, nope. Don't want to do that. So then, I saw the cartoon version of my
I know.
niece's
I
lungs,
remember
which
that
was
story. That's
crazy.
good.
But anyway,
This thing about Michael's shoulder, though. Wow.
yeah, he
Holy
was
cow.
like, how did you know that? And I'm like, I just heard it. I just kept hearing it, and they wouldn't shut up. So I said, well, let's see. And then we worked together for a couple of years, and we really, really had a great time. So I hope it did him some good on his new, adventure. And
Yep.
I miss him from time to time.
I bet.
But it is what it is. Anyway, okay, so 2 paths, Akashic and genetic. So the Akashic, the story of your soul, genetic, the story of your physical being.
Yeah, relatives, ancestors.
But I think that they
intertwine.
And I think there might even be times when you are your own ancestor, which is kind of freaky if you think about it. Like maybe you incarnate into the same family.
Oh, right. Now, when you say it that way, that makes sense.
I know it's a little weird when you say your own ancestor, but yeah, if you incarnate into the same family, you never know. Like, how deep can you meditate? How far can you go? What kind of a journey can you go on where you can kind of connect to this information? I think you can find it if you believe that you can get it.
Yeah.
Right. That's the biggest key, is not what gifts do you have. So if you can find somebody, like me, to give you the prompts and put you in the position and put you in the energetic container, so to speak, where you have access to this information, there's no reason you can't get it. It might take practice, right? But there's no reason you can't get the information. So here, the idea of Akashic and genetic. So Akashic, that would be, soulmate, which is another word I absolutely despise.
Here's a tangent for you, right?
Well, I mean, not really, because I believe in soulmates, but I believe that this earthly construct that we've developed of soulmates is
like
kind of romanticized.
One, right?
Yeah.
That's
and the truth is, I think a soulmate is a person that you've traveled with before, right? So why would you want to be in a relationship with somebody that's known you from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime and know where all your buttons are? Why would you want that? And
get someone who doesn't know you so you can
kind of right, like so you can start all over again. And I will say that I'm sure my husband and I have been, more than once. And he is like, am I getting on your nerves? Yes. Am I on your last nerve? Not yet. Well, let me know when I'm on the last one, and then I'll stop.
Wow. That is so. There's something really gentle about that.
Yeah. Well, he's the middle of 9, right? So.
Kids?
Yes.
Whoa.
He's directly in the center. 4 older, 4 younger.
Holy cow.
So yeah, anyway. Okay, listen, we went past it, but do we have anything to plug really this week?
Nothing coming up. Nothing real specific other than your.
Okay, so
hey, why don't you plug your Akashic Record reading service?
Oh, well, there you go. Okay, so you can find me now on angiezxuh.com. The ZXUH method and Akashic Record reading falls under that sort of method. So reach out to me on the website if that's what you're really interested in, like an actual reading. I'm doing a little, everybody knows I do taxes and it's been a little crazy. So my website is not quite as updated as I'd like it to be.
No, but we're coming into a more peaceful part of the year.
Yes, we certainly hopefully are. So yeah, I think maybe it's time for me to schedule an Akashic meditation.
Yes.
So look for that to be plugged up. Maybe I'll try to sort that out for next week so I can plug it next week, and I'll do an Akashic meditation. And that will actually connect you to a space where you can go in and kind of find some information for yourself.
Nice.
It's not quite the same as having a reading done by somebody who kind of knows what to look for. But you can certainly on your own get a lot of information. So
cool.
I think we'll leave it at that.
All right.
And then the only other let's see. Well, maybe I'll leave that for one. What do we got? Oh man, we only have like 10 minutes left already.
Right? We need
All
to do
right.
another follow-up on Akashic
Yeah,
Records.
I mean, seriously. Okay, so two paths, Akashic and genetic. Do you believe that the two, does it resonate with you that there are two? Does it resonate with you that you might be part of one or both with multiple people? Right? Drop a comment and let us know. Now, this next one I'm going to put up here for just a quick second. There are no troubled souls, only troubled humans. And we've thought of all of the impacts. I love one of them that you said. Tell us what you thought about this when you saw this sentence.
Oh boy.
The spirits.
Oh yeah.
The earthbounds.
Right. When people are talk about bad ghosts or evil, not evil spirits, but ghosts that are going to harm you, that's that there's an earthbound energy to them, right? That's causing it's not that their souls are troubled.
Right. I mean, I believe once you shed the earthly container, much of that vibrational mismatch you leave behind.
Yep.
Right. So I think that if there are ghosts, which I believe there are earthbound spirits for whatever reason, a violent death or a traumatic death or those kind of things, I think that there is a period of time where they are confused, because they're here. And it depends on who you talk to, right? Because remember, Camille said, well, my family is just right here. They're 3 feet away. But it's definitely a shift of dimension, right? It's not on the physical plane. Right. So I think there's a bit of confusion that happens for people, when they're stuck in their earthbound. I mean, I've seen spirits. I've been seeing them my whole life, and I never interacted with them, but I've always seen them.
No kidding, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I've never spoken to them. I just have seen them, right? But it never freaked me out because I'm not afraid of ghosts. That was one thing I was never afraid of. So anyway, I'd love to know, what do you think about this? Does this resonate with you? There are no troubled souls, only troubled humans, which to me says there's always redemption for a person. When I made, was it you actually that talked about the former president? Oh, he's going to go to heaven? No, that wasn't you.
No, that wasn't me.
Right. And I said yes, but there isn't actually heaven.
Right.
So his soul,
the troubledness of his earthly persona, his earthly personality, it gets shed, and the soul in the spirit side or that dimension, there isn't the anger and craziness and
right, because that crazy, I really believe that crazy, and not just talking about that person, but anybody in general. I believe it is a vibrational mismatch between the soul and the physical, and it's just doesn't quite fit. Right? That's what I believe.
Interesting.
But what I was going to say is, however, if they reincarnate, they're going to carry those same imprints. So I think that unless they clear them, unless you do the clearing work, right? So whenever you do Akashic work now, you're setting yourself up for the future, for your next life and your next life. To me, that is maybe ascension. I don't think you ascend in one life. So in this life, you are this. And maybe the next time you are some kind of a spiritual leader. And the next time after that, you might be the Dalai Lama. Who knows? Although, no, I think the Dalai Lama got that all sewn up, because
they pick the person.
But the person remembers being the Dalai Lama. There's some really cool, crazy story.
Yeah, about that. Really crazy stuff. I love that. Yeah. Hey, I got a question for you. I'm going to just throw this out here. As you progress through lifetimes, you get more spiritually attuned with each one, right? The question is, do you ever regress? Do you ever regress? This time I was a spiritual leader. Next lifetime I'm a drunk with a you get what I'm going with that, right?
I do. I mean, So the way that I read the record is that you come here to experience a certain energy. Like, let's say you come here to experience the energy of abundance,
Okay.
just because that's easy.
Yep.
So I believe that when you're on the, they talk about soul contracts and all these different things, whatever that looks like for you. But I believe when you're on the other side, you kind of decide, you choose. What am I going to go there to experience now?
Okay.
Because
All
I
right.
think that's what here is all about, right?
Right.
Is
Experiencing something specific.
experiencing something and experiencing it as an individual. So let's say it's abundance that you want to experience. Well, there's polarity. See, right? And on the other side, there's no polarity. But on Earth, there is polarity. There's always polarity. There's always two sides. So the truth is that if you decide you want to experience abundance, you may very well experience abundance through the energy of lack, because lack is the polarity of abundance.
Okay.
So let's say you decided you want to experience joy. You may experience joy through the polarity of misery.
Okay.
So yes, I think that you could absolutely regress.
Regress in terms of would you regress in terms of becoming
Like,
a worse person? Like,
I don't know. I don't think so.
okay.
No.
I that's from what I've read,
mean, but
from what
see,
I've
to
learned,
me,
I don't think so either.
I mean, I guess to me, regressing would be, would you come back as a murderer, right? Like,
okay, good, perfect. That's
right?
a perfect
Like,
example.
would you come back as a drunk? Maybe, because maybe as a drunk you would experience lack. So, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
Yep.
But as a murderer, I don't think so, because I think that if you are a spiritual leader, one of the this will resonate with you for a second, thinking about the earlier conversation. I think that if you are a spiritual leader, you have the inherent ability to understand that you don't interfere with someone's free will.
Okay.
And what does a murderer do? They remove the person's free will. What does a rapist do? They take away the free will. So, and again, when you talk about the Akashic Record, if you talk about the idea of choice, well, who would choose to live a life like that? That's a really hard conversation to have.
I know.
And it took a
really dicey. Yeah.
It took me a long time to be able to sort of reconcile the idea of that. Like, who would choose to live through something like rape? But the truth is, I think that in this case, you didn't choose it because somebody interfered with your free will. That's a different thing. That's an entirely different thing. Like, your presence here, and somebody might say, well, a slave doesn't have free will, or, in some of these really oppressive countries, they don't have free will. They kind of do. It's just kind of different. You could choose to be a renegade. Here, right? Exactly. Right? Like, don't you think?
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. We're running out of time, and I really want to get to this.
Holy cow, was this cool! Man,
we're gonna do tarot time too, but I really want to get to this next one because I just love it.
All right.
But let us know in the comments while you're listening, does this resonate with you, and what do you think? Because we would love to hear it. Okay, I love this one. I have heard the Akashic Records room is like a huge building of shelves and scrolls. Is that true? So I love that you heard that, and I love that you have that idea. And I think the answer is yes, and the answer is no, right? So remember intuition, right? Intuition is how you connect to, receive, and interpret energy. So you use your intuition to connect to the Akashic Record, right? So the Akashic Record is pure energy, right? It exists in the fifth dimension. Yes, I said it. And you have to connect to it to get in there to retrieve information. So you connect to, you receive the energy. How do you interpret it? You interpret it through your filter. So if your filter says it looks like a huge building of shelves and scrolls, then that's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like.
And if when I was first taught to read the Akashic Record, her whole thing was that it is a tapestry. and everybody's story is a thread in the tapestry.
Yeah, I've heard that
Which
too.
was really cool. That was really cool. But then as I started to do the work and found out that I have an actual Akashic Record gatekeeper guide, who looks just like a librarian, for me, it is a library. And it not
That
only
totally
is
makes
it,
sense too.
right? It's a library. It's got the Dewey Decimal System. And it has this huge table with a huge book that is usually blank, but I can go there and get information that I'm looking for in this book. So that's mostly for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I want to read for someone else, I literally visualize myself getting, that's my whole thing, right? Visualize, align, surrender. I literally visualize myself getting the volume of whoever it is that I'm working with.
Right. And then you see, wait a minute, someone put this book here. It's supposed to be there. Who's been messing around in my library?
No, not in my library. Try it. Not happening. No, I'm just kidding.
So what you do is in that process, take their volume, open it up, and find the information that you need to find.
It's like reading a story, and then the idea of doing the clearing work is like, let's say you find, we talked about a curse. Let's say you find a curse, right? You ask the book to go back to the state it was in before that curse was written.
Oh.
So, because a lot of people, one question people do ask is, well, if you do the clearing work, does that mean everything goes back to the way it was? And I don't think so. I think that
There's more to it.
I think that it goes by the issues that present, right? So I'm going to just take like one more minute to say this because I want to make sure we get to tarot time. And if we go a couple minutes over, it's no big deal. Because, it's our show, right?
Right.
Anyway.
No rules.
Right? I love no rules. I really do. Except for the part about going in through the outdoor. Can't do that. Anyway. So, this is what I think. This is based on what I was taught and my experience in working with people, is that the things that I find are relevant to the place you are in your journey right now. So what I find, the blocks and restrictions are relevant to what it is you're working on, and it is what is keeping you from aligning with your path, your purpose, your divine soul expression, however you want to put that. So does that mean I have found everything in the record? No, I don't think so. Because I think that if you were to try and find everything all at once and dig all of that out.
Overload.
Exactly. I think I'm not huge on the idea of healing crisis, but energy workers, if they don't work with the intention of comfortable and appropriate, which I always do, you can put somebody into a healing crisis where they, like their physical body can have a reaction to the energy work. It's not lasting, it's not fatal, but it's not wonderful either. It's not fun. So I like to look at it like the layers of an onion. Oh, okay, so we're going to work on this layer now. What issues are in this layer? Let's find them. Let's clear them. We invite the book to go back to the way it was before these issues were present. And they always seem to come in like sets of 3 or maybe 4. Like, and they might be from different lifetimes, but they all seem to have some kind of a connection to each other as well. Like, oh, I can see why you did this in this lifetime because you had this in that lifetime.
Okay. Right.
So yeah, so there's, we could talk for another 2 hours and I could tell you so much more. Like, it's just amazing.
All right. We are definitely doing a part 2 on this conversation because we didn't even get to half the questions.
No, we sure didn't. So anyway, that's really all the time we've got for the Akashic Record itself, because we want to move on to tarot time. But I want to know, because I think we probably have people that listen that actually do record work. I know that at least a couple of them studied with the same person that I did, and I'm not going to mention her name, but because it's not, because I tried actually Googling her and you can't really find her. So, I mean, you can, but I don't know, it's weird. But anyway, there's, different teachers give you kind of a different idea of the way
Sure.
it works.
Yeah.
Different books will give you a different idea, but in
Yep.
the end, it's all the same information, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing new under the sun, only different ways to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
So does it resonate with you that this is kind of what the Akashic Records room looks like? And do you believe it can look like different things for different people? Let us know in the comments. I'm really excited to hear what you think. And we'd be excited to hear if another episode containing the Akashic Record would resonate with you. So let us know that in the comments too. So thank you for all of that and listening to this crazy conversation.
This has been amazing. This is probably my favorite episode.
And we've had some good ones, right?
Yep. Right. Actually, okay. No, we've had so many good ones.
I know. Like last week was great with Camille.
Yeah.
Like if you haven't watched the episode with Camille, the military medium, you have to.
Amazing.
She's amazing. She is just amazing. So she was great fun to have on. And we should maybe we could have her come and do readings on the show sometime. Like connections. That'd be cool.
That would be really cool.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, here it is. We're at the end of the show. It's Tarot's time. Tarot's time? All right, Tarot's time. Like TAROT''S.
And as I call it, it is tarot time.
There you go.
Today's card is the Ace of Cups. All right, let's talk about the Ace of Cups. So cups are feelings.
I knew that. Oh yeah. I'm getting it.
Is the pure essence. So in tarot, the aces are always the pure essence of feeling whatever that element is. So this is going to be the pure essence of emotion, and how that plays out is, so it's like new connections, new friendships, new love, seeds of hope, seeds of awakening. One of my favorite words for this concept is bliss. So I'll read the mantra from Chris Ann's Lightseer's Tarot Guide book here. And it's a very simple mantra. My heart is open and filled with love. That is the essence. Wow. Yeah, that is the essence of emotion, of love. And so that's the energy that the Ace of Cups brings to us.
Keep talking. I'm going to grab something real quick.
Okay, sure. A couple other ideas and concepts for this card is that your emotions are powerful magic. If you are able to use your emotions kind of along the lines that Abraham and Esther and Jerry Hicks talk about, using your emotions as a tool in your spiritual journey, just know that the Ace of Cups is the essence of that, the essence of pure love. I think that's good for the Ace of Cups. Well, it's a really good card to get in a reading.
And it's amazing, the idea of emotions and the idea that people should balance the mental emotional balance is like really important, because it takes thought from emotion and emotion from thought, right? You can get the balance between the two. So that's amazing. So as you said that mantra, and now I forgot it.
Let me read it one more time. My heart is open and filled with love.
Okay, that's it. My heart is open and filled with love. So I was guided to bring out my mala.
Oh,
so if you're familiar with mala, now I'm going to tell you, a mala's got 108 beads. But if you don't have a mala, you know what else adds up to 108? A deck of cards with 2 jokers 2 times through it.
Really?
Yeah, right? 52 plus 2 is 54. Times 2 is 108. So if you don't have a mala, if you have a deck of cards with 2 jokers, a full deck and 2 jokers, you can count. You can just count.
Flip through it. Yeah, you flip through it.
And what you want to do, so with a mala, you hold the bead, and you count the beads, and you start at the middle.
Okay.
So you know where to end. But say it again one more time. Sorry. My heart
is open and filled with love.
My heart is open and filled with love. My heart is open and filled with love. My heart is open and filled with love. My heart is open and filled with love. My heart
Oh,
is open and
wow.
filled with love. My heart is open and filled with love. All the way around the block. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to generate energy and you're going to open your heart and your heart is going to expand. And the energy of your heart expanding is not something that you should be afraid of. It is something that you should embrace.
Mm-hmm.
And it is something that you will appreciate. And it was something that can help you immensely as you walk through the journey.
Immensely. I would, yep, 100
Right?
times
So,
a million.
how interesting, what an amazing card, the Ace of Cups.
Yep.
To bring along with it such a mantra that, and I got this one is from Amazon. You can get a mala pretty much anywhere.
I don't have one, and I'm going to get one.
They can be really expensive, but I don't. It's really for counting.
It's
right?
for counting.
You don't need an expensive mala. You just need it to have 108 beads. And there is a spiritual meaning to 108. John, I know you're going to go and look it up. So maybe next week when we're. Yep. What?
So real quick, I like to listen to Eastern, Middle Eastern music when I'm working, and one of the mantras that I heard that's in Sanskrit is Om Mani Padme Hum, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Famous one. And I looked for it, and I found a band that was singing it, and it said Om Mani Padme Hum 108 times. I'm like, 108 times? I wonder what that's all about.
Now there you go.
Know.
Now you know. Now you know. I have been in. Before COVID, right, when we could have people live, I have been in rooms where we've chanted different chants, like that chant, like that or whatever. And the energy, the vortex it creates is out of this world. Yeah, I mean, sometime when you're coming through Chicago, we'll have to have some kind of an event. You'll have to come to the space and check it out.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just, like I love to play in the energy. That's what I live for. So anyway, all right. So get yourself a mala or a deck of cards. My heart is open and full of love. My heart is open and full of love. And then see how that resonates with you after you do it 108 times, and drop us a comment and let us know, because I really love to hear it. The more you play with the energy, the more it can do for you.
Mm-hmm.
The only way you master working with energy, the only way you become an energy master, as I call myself, because I worked hard to actually do that, is to play and to practice and to work and to do sessions.
That's funny. Learn. One real quick thing, my go-to is always reading, right? Reading or learning. Mm-hmm. And what I'm gradually being pulled to, maybe kicking and screaming, is actually doing this.
Maybe kicking and screaming?
Yes. That's what I love about
Just
you.
Maybe.
That's what I love about you. And you're getting me to practice the stuff that I've learned up here, but actually I want to do it here now.
Yeah, there's nothing like it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't lived until you've been in a room with me when I make a contraption out of crystals, and then the next thing you know, it's 10 minutes later and everybody's staring at the wall.
Right.
And you go,
where did I go?
I mean, yeah, where did we go, right? Anyway, all right. So listen, next week, I'm really excited because we decided that we're going to do kind of a more interactive thing.
Yep.
And we're going to play with because that's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have some dowsing rods available. We're going to have a pendulum or two available. I'm going to show you that you don't need a fancy pendulum from the store. I think maybe we're gonna look at the idea of yes/no questions from the tarot deck, because I know you said there's a tradition of who does what. I'll explain to you what I do, which is a body pendulum. And then a couple of exercise things that I have actually learned over the years, for yes, no, and maybe, from different teachers. I will try to remember who they were so that I can, note their names. But I can't guarantee that's going to happen because, cheesy up in here. Anyway, yeah, it's next week is gonna be all about playing in the energy. So I really do hope you join us. I really hope that you bring a pile of crystals and a pendulum and whatever you have. And let's see. What else could you tell them to bring?
I will prepare, at least if you have a pendulum, bring it. If you don't, bring a piece of thread and a washer.
Yeah, there you go. And you know what? Bring a deck of cards.
Good idea.
Bring a deck of cards, because from a deck of cards you can get red, black, red, black, red, black.
That's a good
right?
use.
Like
Yep.
that's a great exercise. That's actually one of the first exercises I use in like a teaching your intuition class is the red, black, black, because I hate Zener cards. They are the bane of my existence. Anyway, okay, now because talking has made us go over 5 minutes, that's it for our show today. But my gosh, thank you so much for joining us all the way to the end. And please, if you haven't yet, reach down and subscribe, and then maybe share the episode and get some of your friends to subscribe too. Because once we hit 44, our next goal is going to be 100. So, we'd really like to get there.
Awesome.
Soon. Amazing. Thank you so much. This has been amazing. What a great conversation once again.
For sure.
And I look forward to talking to you again next week.
Me too.
All right.
Thank you for listening to Does It Resonate With You? The thought-provoking conversation show with your hosts, Angie of the ZXUH Method and John the Tarot Geek. Please help us out by clicking the subscribe button here on the YouTube channel. We appreciate your support.